Welcome to CopperCast.
When you first hear CopperCast, you may see in your mind the images of copper being melted and casted into alloys, copper wiring, and red copper pans.
Just look at all that sweet sugar caramelized all over these nuts.
What I see is a dumb podcast that has somehow been living for more than 3 years. A project made by me and my friends during high school, full of goofs, gaffes, and more.
A Riri. I thought you were a Riri.
Yeah.
You kept doing.
That's the term now.
Yeah. Okay, that's a term now.
But then Jhfly jumps again, and then Cade's recording because he expected something retarded to happen. And then you just hear.
Fix your bed.
Yeah, I went upstairs.
What?
He actually was.
Yeah,
he was
okay.
dry humping his ass in the claws, doggy style.
I want to contribute. I want to farm the big Martian potatoes. They are big as my freaking balls.
Pretty much everybody else has a tattoo on the inside of his ass cheeks that says he felt good.
Tiny.
They're huge.
Tiny.
They're as big as your mom. Oh!
Everybody say your kinkiest fetish right now.
4.
Cock.
Wait.
From what I remember at least, CopperCast started around the end of junior year in high school, and here's me driving away from recording my high school for B-roll at night, thinking I look like a child molester. It all started when me and my friend Jhfly were listening to Sleepy Cabin on a ride back from home from something. This also happened to be the time when Cold Ones, the podcast with Max Mofo and Chad Anything for Views, started. We both had an idea in the car after we listened to Sleepy Cabin for a bit. Hey, why don't we start our own? You and me, Jhfly, we were in my car, and we were listening to Misfits. Either it was Misfits or it was Sleepy Cabs. Clab.
Sleepy claps.
The next few days went by, and it was around winter break at the time. We decided to go up to the regular lunch table that our friend group used to sit at all around and let them know about it. For the most part, everyone seemed on board. A few of them even wanted to join on some episodes soon. On the evening of CopperCast's birth, when we recorded the first pilot episode, The Monetization Station, we came up with the name right before. We sat around thinking, and I had an idea of basing it off of what we happened to be doing in the room at the time. And we were eating extremely crunchy pizza. So I thought of Crunchcast, but never went through with it due to the fact that it was close to the name of Crunchyroll's podcast, and we wanted to avoid copyright problems. We were eating pizza and it was like crunchy as shit. So we're like, alright, we recorded like 3 seconds of it to see if it would work, and everything, testing it, and it was just disgusting noises of just these 3 guys loudly eating into the microphone. Okay, we're testing the gain.
The gain needs to be a little higher if we're gonna be talking normal way.
Hello.
Not loud. We're not gonna be screaming autistically, you dumb. You're so stupid. Jesus Christ. It needs to be more centered too. It's kind of bothering.
It needs to be quiet, so then later in post I can amplify it. Okay.
So we were like, how about, we're crunching our pizza and everything. How about we name it Crunchcast? And we were like, wait a minute. No, that's a bad idea. Also, Crunchyroll's podcast is named that. Doom Mandalin had the idea of basing it off somewhere around the area we live in. He thought of a certain mine that mines copper, known as the Kennecott Copper Mine. And since it was a podcast, CopperCast became the name. We'd also checked if someone else had the name before. There was one. But they haven't posted a podcast in a couple years. Its full name, however, was the Copper Garden Podcast. So we were confident in using the name without invoking controversy. Other podcasts on YouTube have popped up in between, using CopperCast as a name, but I'm not particularly salty about it. I will say though that this CopperCast started in December of the same year we started ours, which began in January. We did it first! We started recording the very first episode, and thus CopperCast was born. Now, it wasn't really a set-in project at this point. I had to figure out how to edit this thing, and looking back on it, that episode wasn't the best. Cringe! But you always gotta start somewhere.
Don't deep throat, the mic's not coming. The chocolate factory where he eats the microphone.
You guys want to hear the inside of my bowels?
Editing podcasts was a newer art for me, so it took quite a while. And that was harder than ever to edit due to the fact I used Microsoft Movie Maker back then, and trying to sync audio is worse than stubbing your toe with a toothpick underneath it.
Yeah, we got right into it.
Yeah, we got straight into it. It's the worst idea.
Yeah, it was a pretty sloppy start.
So, what we did was like a couple days after, we got everyone together, you, me, and Dallin, and we were doing the quote-unquote pilot episode. And it was like the most just unorganized piece of garbage that I've ever recorded, which I somehow salvaged. Just barely. Even though it has some very, very slow parts, which I
Oh my god, the amount of bleeped out words too in that first season.
Have taken out, like, pretty much the majority of that. I re-edited episode 1, the one that we actually recorded, like, in person, down to 15 minutes. After that, the CopperCast did its regularly weekly episodes, starring more and more guests that joined in along the way, such as a rat, an Italian, and a clone of Dallin because we couldn't get him that day. This season unfortunately would end, but with the birth of a new series, CopperCast Adventures. I wanted CopperCast Adventures to be something I could post intermittently between podcasts so people wouldn't get bored, but also for time capsule and good memory's sake. Although, I hate rewatching some of the old videos. I'm a cringy bastard.
Go into the epic Minecraft level. It's not epic.
Okay, what is the epic reference? I don't
It's an epic parking moment. Forehead epic pro moment, parking moment.
These adventures would eventually evolve into a project involving the podcast, known as The Return to the Void. But I'll let you piece the story of that on your own because it's honestly for a different video. The summer after Season 1 ended also included that camping trip. After that summer, me and Jhfly got back together one night and decided it was time to start again. It was around the beginning of our senior year. We decided to make it laid back, less cringy, with more effort, and less chaotic than the first. Season 2 was just that. It was a more successful rebranding. However, midway into this, the pandemic of 2020 hit the world, causing some problems on our end as well, but we got through it. Season 2 inevitably ended when we split our separate ways to pursue adult life. I went on to do more education in college, which me, being the main editor of most of everything up to this point, meant the podcast would be postponed for a while. But that didn't stop me from doing it from time to time, and Season 3 began when me and Parker ate Mexican food on Discord for an hour and a half. Episode 10, I don't even know what this is. This is like CopperCast Season 2.5 now. I don't even know what to do anymore. I mean, hi, I'm with Parker.
Oh man,
What are you doing?
you know, this is a good burrito.
Okay. Well, one, why did you eat in the middle of recording? We've been
Cause
planning. We've been planning this for
Burrito.
2 weeks, and you decide to eat food on my podcast?
Yeah.
This is an outrage. So far, the season has been off and on due to my college work, and everyone else's schedules has been interfered with plans. Although, whenever we get the time to do one, even if it's just a few people, it's a cool experience to see each other again on a podcast in so long. It gives us a medium to let everything out, and it's kind of cathartic. In my opinion, I don't think it's ever going to end. Even if there are year-long disruptions in between an episode, that's okay, because in my eyes, this is just a time capsule project, a time machine that allows me to look back at my cringy life.
Why am I here?
I'm here to interview you, about CopperCast.
Let me free. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, if you answer, these are my riddles for. that didn't rhyme.
Riddles 4, like you're some dumb whore.
It's like all the way down there too. I know Eric was like setting it because of the.
Was that better?
Now it's even quieter.
Was that better?
But yeah, sure.
That's better, okay.
What do you think about the Israel-Palestine conflict?
Well, that's an interesting thing you have to like think about because
on the tail end of that, what do you think about Israel forces in War Thunder? Gotta call Dallin. Hello? Yeah, I need you to come to CopperCast headquarters right now.
I've arrived.
Brother Bear's dead. He died. Remember? He came out of the clouds like a freaking Simba.
He came out of the closet and his parents disowned him. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I've been around since fairly. I remember talking like when you guys talked about starting the podcast, and at the time I was doing other things. I was kind of in my own world at the time, so.
It was I think junior year.
Yeah.
Of high school.
Yeah, I mean, I would go as to say, I guess I was the founder, but not really, because it was both me and Josue.
When I was originally like asked to be on and kind of got invited to be on, I was just like, yeah, this is a cool little thing to do. And I believe I was on the second episode, Thick Space Cats, and I came in that episode, and I've just kind of been on and off ever since. Except for a third season, I've been mostly just here. I've been on.
I don't remember exactly. I mean, the channel was created January 16th, which is nearing its birthday as of recording this now.
Sophomore year, right at the end of sophomore year.
Oh yeah.
Was when we started stuff.
The first one I ever went to was like junior year. It was me, you, Dallin, Josue, Parker.
I don't fucking know that answer.
Or at least when do you remember going on?
I don't know dates. You probably have a better estimate than I do.
I believe the first episode you were on was that one where we pretended that the world was ending.
I'm gonna go with yeah.
Okay. Well, it's kind of cool to, we always, just thinking of it as like a podcast instead of like a time capsule. That thought of having it as like an actual time capsule started to come through more often the more that we did it. And it's more of a time capsule now than it was back then, which is kind of cool because now we can just we can look back and see, our past life.
Doing something with the boys, mostly. Hanging out with the boys, doing a little side hobby.
It's been pretty good. It's been pretty fun. It's nice to kind of banter with each other, kind of chat, talk.
Taking a part of our lives and putting it on film and audio and just throwing it out there in this service we call CopperCast.
I mean, we're definitely not going to be like the next Joe Rogan podcast or anything. So far, nobody's a pedophile yet.
It's for us, and it'd be cool if people saw it, but at the same time, this is just more so for us.
I think when you put enough people that don't have brain cells together, you can start to kind of like put together one brain cell. I don't know, it's been pretty fun, interesting.
It was something that I thought was weird. There was like specific topics to talk about, but that's just me. But I enjoy the time of it.
So, me in the future watching this when it releases 2 years after that, 3 years after that, what's up?
It's fun. It's amusing. It's cringy, but it's how it is. It's how it always starts. The moment that made me laugh the hardest, it was when we were doing it in our basement, and it was with Dallin. Having I don't remember if it was like a technical issue, but we were like just doing like a stupid little break or something, and we're running out of things to talk about. So we played the music on my computer, not my computer, my piano, out of nowhere, and then Dallin comes in with
I was 13 years old.
Oh shit! Turn down the volume! Turn down the volume!
I unplugged the mic.
That's the charger.
I should do this. Let's wait, we need to swap.
Alright.
I'm crying, wait! This shit had me laughing so bad. I could not breathe. That was one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, here we go. The episode where we had Jaden on. That was a nice episode. We really were just having fun down here, just hanging out and seeing someone we hadn't seen in years. Just talking, and then afterwards we just ran around the neighborhood and just had fun. It was a good night. I think that would have to be like one of my favorites, if not my favorite.
I don't know if this is anyone else's favorite, and it probably is, but I really liked that really stupid bit that Dallin did in the Kucheria episode.
Hooray! I am from the mystical lands of Kucheria. I am from Africa, and I ate a lion coochie. Have you ever had lion coochie, my friend?
Parker has something
I was trying to take a drink and you started again.
Have you ever had lion coochie, my friend?
No, I've had
It's
two
better
drinks.
than my wife and your wife.
And my wife.
Okay, low key, I actually kind of enjoyed the stupid. We were flicking the soda tabs.
It's a Star Wars battle! That was actually really loud. I'm not gonna stop it.
This is a loud sound.
That is actually really loud.
I think there was one where we talked about gargoyle penises.
Oh, no.
Proceeds to rip out gargoyle penis.
Oh
The last sound he hears before he's raped and left in a dish.
He passed out because it knocks too big. He went up his ass like, oh, I'm passed out.
No, it went in one hole and came out the other.
Oh no, he suffocated.
Stop! Jeez.
Stop.
Do you have a favorite moment of CopperCast?
Yes, I do. It's the Jeopardy one or whatever, where Parker got executed publicly.
It's D is the first letter of the name.
You fool. You absolute fucking buffoon.
The answer was E.
You absolute idiots.
E!
Prepare the guillotine.
We'll be back after these messages.
Was
The weird torture porn.
Stuff that Dallin had us do.
Season 1.
Honestly, yeah, me too.
In the entirety of season 1. That was crusty because I was trying to do a lot of things that weren't necessary, that were very cringy, and it haunts me at night.
It's the first camping trip. Oh, that was hell.
The fake ads.
The fake ads?
I kind of thought it was just a weird interruption from the flow, personally.
There's one where after the video, Dallin sat in the room in the dark and he put on a Mickey Mouse hat.
I'm in Disney World!
And I saved that video and I forgot about it. But like a couple months ago, I played the video right before I fell asleep, and I had a nightmare of Dallin. And I was walking towards my basement, like the middle of the night, and then I hear like that crusty guttural laugh, and then it's just Dallin, like pitch black, like he didn't have skin or anything. It was like just a shadow, but I knew it was Dallin. He's like, I'm in Disney World, and I fucking wake up in a cold sweat, and I had to go to school that day, bro. It didn't work out. But I would say that's the most negative memory I have from the show.